Dear learners, we welcome you to the module on e-governance in India. The importance of this topic cannot be overemphasized more in relation to public administration and governance, as it is an imperative change that it is to be welcomed. In addition to promoting efficiency and democracy, technology has become a large component of the relationship between citizens and the state. Technology has ensured that governance is now in the hands of the citizen through e-governance. This has provided a process of enhanced governance with the potential for clarity, accountability, efficiency and empowerment in the citizen-state relationship. In India, the evolution of e-governance is a reflection of nation's cyber nation of inclusive growth, technology development and citizen participation in democratic governance. India has evolved from its initial stages of computerization in government departments to major projects such as Digital India, e-governance and MyGov. The e-governance experience in India is representative of a transformation towards a more citizen-centric, responsive and efficient administrative model of governance from a traditional administrative model of governance. As pointed out by Ray, in 2010, e-governance in India is a change in public service that is integrated with science and technology, representing a shift to good governance or at least good e-governance. This module seeks to unpack this shift by exploring policies, a framework of national initiatives, legal parameters and problems and prospects of e-governance in the context of a heterogeneous and populous country such as India. Now we can see what are the objectives of this module. By the end of this unit, you will be able to define e-governance and explain its importance in contemporary governance systems. Let us trace the historical development of e-governance in India. We can also examine the legal and institutional frameworks supporting e-governance. We also evaluate key national and state level initiatives under Digital India and NEGP. We also understand the role of technology in enhancing transparency, efficiency and citizen engagement. At the last part of the module, we also discuss the challenges in implementing e-governance across rural and urban India, and we also discuss what are the anticipated future trajectory of digital governance in India. Now we can see how the concept and the significance of e-governance started in India. At its most basic level, e-governance is the use of information and communication technologies by government to deliver services to its citizens, to communicate with citizens, to improve administrative functions. This is evident in digitized record keeping, online service delivery portals, interactive portals for citizens to engage with the government and mobile-based governance apps among other current applications. E-governance entails more than just digitizing services. It is an essential act of transforming governance itself. E-governance has the potential to enable better governance through data analytics that helps improve decision making, allow public participation and generate more transparency. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology argues that e-governance must lead to smart governance. Here, smart means simple, moral, accountable, responsive and transparent governance. The importance of e-governance in India stems from its capacity to address gaps between the government and citizens, urban and rural divide and solve policy and implementation issues. It is a means to address inefficiencies, stem possible corruption, reach last mile delivery of services and foster inclusive growth. Saxena in 2005 notes that when implemented correctly, e-governance often acts as a mechanism to increase transparency and promote inclusive development, ultimately improving the quality of democratic governance. With over 700 million internet users, India's digital in all development offers good opportunities to improve public service delivery using technology. Now we can see the historical evolution of e-governance in India. India's journey into e-governance commenced in 1970s with the computerization of government departments. The National Informatics Center, that is the NIC, which was formed in 1976, was instrumental in the entry of information and communication technologies in governmental functioning. The initiatives in 1980s and 90s such as sectoral application, that is some examples are the railway computerization project, computerization of income tax records, etc., were important early successes and formed the basis for more integrated initiatives. Seamless transformation began with the introduction of National E-Governance Plan, that is NEGP, in 2006, with an intention to make all government services accessible to the common man through common service delivery outlets and ensure efficiency, transparency and reliability. Now we can see what are the significant events within this evolution include. To start with, in 2006, the NEGP was launched with 27 mission mode projects. In 2011, Mobile Seva for mobile governance was launched. In 2014, the Digital India campaign to converge and fast track all digital governance effort was launched. In 2022, drafting of the National Data Governance Framework Policy to enable ethical sharing of data for the public purposes was launched. Across all these phases, e-governance in India has evolved from basic digitization to integrated frameworks that promote participative and inclusive governance. Now we can see what are the legal and policy frameworks behind e-governance. E-governance in India is directed by a solid legal and policy structure to ensure transparency, privacy, accessibility and standardization. There are several policies, acts and frameworks that have supported the institutionalization of digital governance. To start with, in 2000, Information Technology Act was enacted. The new act provided the statutory backing for legal recognition of electronic records and digital signatures, which facilitated secured and attested digital transactions. It also had provisions to deal with cybercrime, data protection and online communication issues vital for ensuring citizen trust in digital platforms. Then comes the National E-Governance Plan, which was launched in 2006. National E-Governance Plan was the first major policy initiative on e-governance with several unique projects undertaken in 27 mission mode projects, that is MMPs. For instance, it covers banking services, income tax, passport information, land records, municipal services, etc. NEGP had the clear intention to make government services accessible to the common man through common service delivery outlets and subsequently to ensure that citizens and merchants were provided more efficient, transparent and reliable government services at affordable costs. Then comes the Digital India program, which was launched in 2015. Digital India is a program of the government of India that builds on NEGP with a broader objective of transforming India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Digital India has three main components and they are digital infrastructure as a utility to every citizen, then governance and services on demand and the last one is digital empowerment of citizens. National Data Governance Framework Policy, which was launched in 2022. This newly established framework encourages open data sharing in conjunction with the preventative measures to maintain privacy, security and ethical issues of citizens' data. It empowers citizens to reclaim some benefits from digital services and sets the stage for the data-driven society governance. This policy reflects a data as public good mentality and offers management that promotes fairness, accountability and inclusiveness. Then we have the Right to Information Act, which was enacted in 2005. It is also relevant to digital platforms. Although this is not necessarily an e-governance law, the RTI Act has a digital element with a number of departments offering online notation RTI portals, thereby promoting transparency and citizen empowerment. Together, these legal spaces enable good governance through digital transformation and establish a framework for efficiency, participation, transparency, accountability and rule of law principles. Now, we can see the national and state level initiatives for e-governance. The e-governance landscape of India is a mixture of centralized and decentralized efforts. There are central government initiatives such as Digital India and MyGov, which are large flagship initiatives, but state governments also have their own initiatives and projects based on needs in their unique state. We can see some of the notable national initiatives. To start with Digital India. Digital India is an umbrella program that contains many sub-missions like BharatNet, DigiLocker, Umang, e-Hospital and National Scholarship Portal, which enhance service delivery across public service sectors such as health, education and finance. Then comes the MyGov initiative. MyGov.in is a citizen engagement platform that launched in 2014 and allows citizens to engage with government through participatory policy discussion, idea contribution and co-creating solutions. MyGov.in exemplifies a shift from government to citizen, that is G to C, to citizen to government, C to G governance model. Then we have the Common Service Centers, CSCs. CSCs are physical facilities set up in rural and remote locations to provide e-services to citizens. These facilities exist to ensure last mile delivery of services, and they create an opportunity for technology to bridge the gap between the digital and inclusion. Then we have eKranti. eKranti is a submission of Digital India focused on modernizing e-governance with technology based service delivery such as e-education, e-health and e-justice. Then we have the Aadhaar enabled services. With over 1.3 billion issued Aadhaar numbers, digital identity has enabled e-governance through direct benefit transfers, PDS delivery and financial inclusion. Now, we can see some of the notable state level initiatives and from which state it is being initiated. E-Seva, which is initiated in Telangana, a one-stop shop for accessing service provided by the government, including payment of bills, issuance of certificates and issuance of licenses. Then we have e-District, which is being launched in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, allows users to access district level services, enabling them to obtain services such as income certificate, caste certificate, domicile certificates, etc. Then we have Karnataka's initiative of Bhumi, a landmark digital land record management system that established a precedent for others in the country. Then we have MP Online, that is being launched by Madhya Pradesh, and e-Mitra, that is being initiated by Rajasthan. These are examples of successful models in e-governance without antagonizing the established public administration. These initiatives highlight the model of e-governance in India, which has the federal flexibility to innovate in both the center and states, shaped by the socio-political and geographical contexts. Dear learners, now we can see the impact of e-governance on governance. E-governance in India shapes both structural and behavioral aspects of governance. It has transformed how governments function and how members of the public navigate their interactions with public services. Firstly, e-governance enhances transparency by providing access to information online, giving much less room for discretionary or corrupt behavior. Portals like RTI Online and e-procurement has increased visibility of the administrative engagements and processes to the public. Secondly, e-governance increases efficiency and service delivery. Everything from birth certificate, paying taxes, retrieving land records and pension delivery can now be accessed on digital platforms. As a result, providing a service with far less time and cost and engendering satisfaction and trust in public institutions. Third, e-governance increases the nature of citizen participation and engagement. With platforms such as mygov.in, citizens can suggest inputs on policy, submit ideas or votes in opinion polls, increasing democratic governance, which is also interactive. With e-governance, citizens can increase accountability. Digital records represent an important baseline to audit government behavior and decision making. Additionally, dashboards for service provision and grievance redress systems such as centralized public grievance redress and monitoring system allow citizens to hold public officials accountable for their service delivery. Additionally, e-governance seeks to promote inclusion in development. Initiatives such as CSC as well as Aadhaar authentication bring services to rural and marginalized populations are addressing the urban and rural digital divide. On the whole, e-governance has transformed model of governance by imposing good governance values of efficiency, equity, transparency, responsiveness and accountability on the functioning of the Indian state on a daily basis. Now, we can see some of the case studies of e-governance in India. In India, several e-governance initiatives have been successful case studies demonstrating the transformational effect of the digital governance. Now, we can see it one by one. Bhoomi, that is being launched in Karnataka in 2000, was one of the first digital land records initiative. It brought an already existing land record processes out of a manual record keeping system into an open, tamper resistant space for landowners and farmers to see. Bhoomi helped forever reduce land disputes and build trust and credibility in land administration for the public. Then we have the e-Sanjeevani, an outgrowth of earlier e-Sanjeevani app. E-Sanjeevani is a government telemedicine platform to upgrade health access through remote health services. It gained national significance during the COVID-19 pandemic by using video consultations from physicians for residents from remote as well as urban areas. Then we have the Passport Seva project run by the Ministry of External Affairs. The Passport Seva project streamlined the passport application and issuance service. It reduced passport processing and provided online appointments while increasing transparency in the citizen experience with real-time updates on processing passport service applications. Then we have Khajane 2, which is also a Karnataka project. Khajane 2 is a treasury computerization project which falls under the government of Karnataka. It established real-time connectivity for the entire financial transactions of the government, that is the state treasury, which brought transparency, budgetary execution and financial discipline and management, which is critical for all governing budgets. Then we have M Governance in Kerala. Kerala's state transport department did not have to use a direct e-government process, but through the state M Governance program, it used mobile alerts to send SMS alerts, bills and payments, as well as complaint processing for last mile access for users. These illustrations indicate that digital technology's capability to revolutionize administrative system, curb the threats possessed by corruption, enable citizens and bring about more participatory governance. Now we can see what are the challenges and the limitations in utilizing e-governance. While e-governance in India has achieved many important milestones, a number of problems are still awaiting. To start with, as usual, digital divide. While use of digital technologies is widespread in urban areas, rural areas continue to have low internet penetration, digital literacy and significant issues with infrastructure leading to unequal access to e-governance. Then we have the challenge of capacity constraints. Many government departments do not have the technical and trained staff personnel to manage e-governance platforms, which can lead to underutilization of available technology. Then we have cyber security and data privacy. In parallel with increased use of digital services, in the danger of increased data breaches, identify theft and misuse of private data, data protection laws and cyber security frameworks are still in early development. So, still there is a risk of it. Then we have the resistance to change, institutional resistance to change and the resistance on the part of the public servants to moving to digital methods create barrier to the widespread use of e-governance. Interoperability issue. The issue of non-standardization between disparate sites leads to fragmented governance systems which cannot communicate with each other and limit the potential of integrated governance. Bhattacharya and Devi highlight that many e-governance projects in India face serious interoperability issues and lack consistent performance evaluation mechanism which impede long-term impact and scalability. Then we have the problem of monitoring and accountability. E-government services, even with digitization, still lack robust mechanisms to track performance and impacts and redress citizen grievances. These issues will be tackled with a multifaceted approach that involves investment in infrastructure, public administration reforms, enhanced cyber security structures and citizen-led digital policy making. As Sadasivam explains, e-governance marks a paradigmic shift from hierarchical, opaque administrative model to a more decentralized, networked form of governance rooted in transparency, efficiency and responsiveness. Now we can see what will be the future of e-governance in India. India's e-governance is transitioning from simply service delivery to comprehensive digital transformation that incorporates significant enhancements in key areas. Areas like AI and predictive governance, artificial intelligence and machine learning could assist governments in predicting the needs of citizens, improving decision making capabilities and personalizing service experiences. Then we have blockchain for governance. New technologies such as blockchain could facilitate recording permanent and safe processes for official activities, especially in land registration, voting and welfare disbursements. Then we have mobile first governance. M governance will be crucial for last mile delivery with the wide penetration of smartphones, especially in rural and tribal contexts. Then data driven decision making. The National Data Governance Framework Policy is seen by government being a strategic asset and would increase use of big data analytics in government departments for making evidence based policies. Then we have inclusive digital public infrastructure. Public digital goods like Aadhaar, UPI and DigiLocker are components of national digital structure. Succeeding the National Digital Foundation, the ideal policy will be to prioritize expanding digital infrastructure, facilitating utilization, respecting privacy and ensuring public scrutiny of information. Then we have the alignment with global sustainable development goals. E-governance can leverage beyond national boundaries for the survival of humanity through the conveyance of sustainable development goals, preventing climate change while offering effective deployment for universal digital education and gender equality for reducing inequalities. Now, let us sum up what we have seen in this module. To sum up, e-governance is a constantly changing and evolving concept in India that embodies the principles of good governance in the digital age. By providing participatory, transparent and accountable service delivery alternatives, e-governance has brought citizens and the state much closer to each other than traditional methods of governance. Initiatives such as Bhumi and NEGP laid the foundation, and efforts such as Digital India, MyGov, eSanjeevani and eHospital have illustrated the capacity of digital tools to democratize e-governance at scale. E-governance, underpinned by sound legal framework and futuristic policy interventions, transcend administrative innovation to signify a national commitment to the interest of inclusive growth, citizen empowerment and ethical use of technology. While challenges including the digital divide and cybersecurity concerns remain to be addressed, there are indications that the trajectory ahead is positive. The continuous application of emerging technologies such as AI, blockchain technology and mobile applications in governance will likely further enhance the impact of e-governance in the future. Anjal and Simon underscore that India's e-governance landscape, while ambitious and transformative, must continue evolving through integrated platforms and strategic public engagement to ensure equitable outcomes. E-governance is ultimately a governance reform activity intended to build a transparent, effective, inclusive democracy with democratic decision making can not only be timely and transparent, but also participative in nature. Not only in the governance, it is also working in the field of education too. The intervention of e-governance is there, where it facilitates two-way interactive communicative learning and disseminate knowledge even to the remotest part of the country and throughout the world. Thanks to e-governance and initiation in education through massive open online courses. Thank you students. Let's see in the next class.